Hello, welcome to the Minimalist EDC. My name's Chris, and today is another new knife day. So I got this guy in the mail, and this was not a planned purchase. I was sitting on the couch Friday night looking through Instagram, and I see Tri-State EDC flicking something in one of his stories, and I'm like, what is that? Did not know what that knife was. And so I did a little research, found out it comes from this brand, MR.MR Designs. And y'all, I got influenced. Like, it went from I didn't know this knife existed. 5 minutes later, I had purchased one. Normally, I do a lot of research, watch videos like this from other creators before making a purchase. But I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go on a limb. It looks good. Let's see if it is. And so this is what I ended up with. This is, like I said, MR.MR Designs. It came with that sticker I was showing you. Really cool looking logo. I like how the design aesthetic of his logo is the two M's for MR.MR Design, and then upside down it's kind of like a crown. It looks elegant, and so it comes in this little box. Not much going for the box other than just a little bit of an Instagram plug, but I like sleek, elegant, minimalist designs. Let's see what we get out of here. Okay, so got some decent little packaging, and this is the MR.MR Designs Phantom, and so it hits a lot of the boxes that I want in a knife. We got bead blasted titanium. I imagine this is going to show some snail trails after not very long in the pocket, but that's cool. I carry my knives, I use them. I earn their snail trails by using the things. We end up with a front/top flipper. This is one of the interesting things I saw, because it's not truly a front flipper that goes straight up, and it's not truly a top flipper which angles back. So I'm curious to see how that actually works out. We do this little, so sometimes they'll ship like this where this like wire clip will rub against the body, and they just don't want it to scuff it up before you get it. So I'm going to pull that out. And like I said, we do have a wire clip. It looks like it's ambidextrous. So you could put it over here if you are a lefty. And while I do appreciate them making knives accessible to left-handed people, I really wish I could buy an extra front scale or something that does not have this, so that I don't have to see these little marks in the bottom of the knife. It's a small thing, but it's an aesthetic thing. We end up with some nice accents on this knife. So we got these, I'm guessing they're anode. They look anode backspakers, where they're blue, and then we got the blue on the thumb stud. So the titanium and blue is an aesthetic that I enjoy. We have their logo right here, the MR.MR Designs, and on the back we have a pivot screw. So we're going to get into the hardware and all when we take this apart on the next video, but let's just enjoy what this is right out of the box. We'll thumb stud it. Oh, that does feel nice. And so, like a lot of knives out of the box, you'll see, I'm hoping the camera can pick it up, the little blade, the droplets. So there's some factory oil on this that we're going to have to clean up. And I don't particularly care for factory oil, so when I take this apart, I am going to replace it with the KPL stuff right here, and also just make sure any factory gunk is not in there. But we'll get to that shortly. We do have a liner lock. It is a nested liner lock, which I love that, where you don't actually see the liners. We end up with this beautiful Warncliffe blade. That is sharp. My goodness. And what I really like about this design, from what I could tell online and now that I'm seeing it in hand, is just there's little things like the back of the spine of the blade. It's not completely crowned, but they did knock the edges down right here and right here. And when I say they, this was made by QSP, which is another thing I really appreciate about MR.MR Designs. He's telling you where it came from. Like, yes, for the price, this is like $200. You're not getting an American-made knife, but they do tell you where it comes from. That's a plus. I'm down for transparency. You going back to looking at the blade as I get distracted. I do like that on this part of the blade where it comes down to meet the point, there is a swedge right here. On the backside, there's a swedge right here. So it's not functional, but it is. It's pleasing. Like it took extra time on this blade to make little cuts and grinds to make this thing really stand out. And I'm already getting my fingerprints all over this guy. All right. The satin finish is nice. It is, the grind is very clean. Um, Interesting. I don't know. I'm a little distracted by looking how pretty this is. All right, let's see how it closes. It is not what we'd call a drop shutty knife. Now, this is the first time it's opened. Like I said, we're going to get in there. We are going to clean the bearings and properly oil it. But one of the challenges with a knife like this is you need to have the detent tuned for not only thumb studs, but a top flipping mechanism, which typically use two different amounts of forces to open the blade. So being able to reverse flick it, detent a little tight for that, but being able to top flip it, that feels real good. So we may need to tune the detent just a little bit, but also a little oil probably goes a long way. And also, like, this is the first handful of times it's been flicked, so it will wear in. I have no doubt about that. The only other QSP knife I own currently is a Penguin, which I enjoy. It has the same aesthetic as this, right? Like that Penguin Wharncliffe type blade. This is just an elevated version of what they were going for in that knife. The bead blast, absolutely lovely. Like it looks textured without being textured. Like you run your finger over this and it's smooth, but when I look at it, there is a 3D texture. It is contoured. So the scales actually have a contour to them, and there's little details like right here where this edge is knocked down around the notch for the liner lock. I'm just trying to find out, see any other little details that I can call out. I'm not the biggest fan of a wire pocket clip. Not on functionality, just on looks. I prefer the milled titanium look, but that works out pretty well for me anyway, because there are a decent amount of replacements for this style of wire clip because they all use the same type of mechanism where the screw holds the wire in, where I can probably find a decent milled pocket clip that I can get to replace that in the not too distant future if I choose to. The hardware looks good. I can see I imagine these are titanium. Again, we'll get into all that when we break this knife down, what materials we got, but they look, just on the brush look of them, they look titanium, but we'll see if they're steel. But they look real nice. The jimping right here for the opening mechanism, it feels crisp. It feels grippy. I'm not worried about slipping on it when I'm using it in that method of opening. It does feel pretty nice. The thumb studs, there's not a whole lot of room on the backside. Like, it's kind of like the TRM Neutron, where if you're reverse flicking it, you can do it, but there's not much room to get your finger in between the scale and the thumb stud. On this side, it looks like there's more of a cutout, so there's more room to get your thumb in there, which is nice. But on the back side, like I said, it's perfectly doable. It's just you have to come at it at a slightly different angle to get in there and do it. I think for myself, like the top flip, that's my jam. Like, I like having that top flipper. It feels crisp. It feels just solid. The lockup, let's take a look. We got solid lockup. Nothing to complain about there. So let's take a look at the size on this guy. So here's your crisp American $2 bill. And here is our Mr. Phantom. Let's see. I'll get some pretty common knives out here. Again, you'll see the titanium and blue motif that I've made in my bug out. We'll line it up. So bug out just slightly bigger, and then a pretty common knife is going to be the Civivi Elementum. And just because there's one sitting next to me, here is a tactile turn Rockwall. Got a lot of titanium on the table, a lot of titanium. So you can kind of see what you're dealing with on size. It is what I would call a mid-size folder, but for me, anything much more bigger than this, I just don't like carrying around. I don't have a use for it in my day-to-day carry, and so most of my knives fall into that genre. Let's talk about carry profile. So bring out the Daisy Dukes here. So for a front pocket carry, it is very deep carry. I wouldn't say ultra deep carry because you do see a little bit poking out, but that is not to its detriment. It's just, it disappears. And so it's fifth pocket carry. fits in that fifth pocket nicely. Your fifth pocket may vary. These are the branded jeans that I wear, so they are the ones that I'm going to compare it against. And then back pocket carry. I have no doubts that that is going to be just fine. Wallet goes over here, knife goes over here. As long as you don't have a giant wallet, you'll be perfectly fine. Excellent. So, final thoughts on this unboxing. I think I'm going to enjoy this knife. I do think I'm going to have to get in there and do a little bit of work. Coming from a factory like QSP or Riyadh or whatnot, there is a lot of times I find a little bit of work you got to do to your knife to get the best results. And so that's what we're going to do next. And I will let you guys know how that goes. But I'm pretty pleased with this. Like, I straight up got influenced by Tri-State EDC. He led me down the primrose path and said, this is a good knife. You know what? Gentleman's correct. This is pretty excellent. I'm looking forward to carrying this. I am looking forward to possibly modding this. I think there is a world where I would want to acid wash this blade to have the contrast between the titanium and the dark acid wash. Something to think about. No hard plans on that yet, but if we do that, I'll take you on the journey. We'll do it together. But thank you for joining me on this. Please like and subscribe. I'd love to have you part of the community. Y'all have a great day.